All right, welcome. This is today's show of Dynasty the Podcast, man. I'm your host, Ira Bush. We still working out the kinks and stuff to the backdrop of we actually in the booth in the studio. So I appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. Now, because last time we had a little bit of light issues, so I'm trying to get it right where it ain't even, and I'm your host, Art Bush. I don't know if I mentioned that. I don't want nobody to get confused. You feel me? It's a lot of confusion out here. A lot of stuff going on, man. It's exciting. Whether you look at it from either perspective, you can look at it from a negative perspective. It's a lot of chilling, blowing up. The people that are in leadership, this is what they promote. This is what they want. They claim they don't. They claim they want this or that, but this is the energy that they bring. As soon as they stepped into a position of power, this is what they were talking about. It's playing out in fruition. I don't know. I don't think they're unhappy about the results that they're getting. They just like to be in turmoil. They like to be in the negative. Now, it's been a lot going on. School shooting. Somebody got assassinated. I want to take this time out, man. I'm going to order today. I'm gonna stay on script. Um, I'm trying to it's a season 2 of Dynasty the Podcast. What's going on this year is the fall season. This is the season where you make money. This is where when you this is a universal time in the world where the energy of every season is a preparation. There's preparation involved in every season. But this I know it's all it's like a the today's episode is called persistency and consistency. So if I'm persistent, that means I'm never gonna stop. If I'm consistent, that means I'm always doing the same or above average or great. It's the same. It's the same product. You might not have the best, but you got high quality, so it's not going down, it's not going up. Or you got the highest, and people are expecting the highest from you. So this is what we talking about today. Going right into it. I'm just breaking it down. In politics, we're gonna go right into it, man. We have the talk about gun violence, gun what's the word for it? Gun. It's not nothing to be educated. I'm not a big believer in I'm a big believer in protecting yourself, but I'm not like that guy that want to be like, oh, let me go around here have guns and I'm not going against people who have that mentality because some people are raised different in different environments. I be in environments where there's nothing going on. Everybody in the house, everybody worry about their children. Then I'm in an environment where it's not like that. So it could be either or any day. And I can't judge anybody from trying to protect themselves or protect their children a certain manner. But this goes right into guns and the LGBT community have collided so much in my generation because they all fighting for some kind of being accepted into this world or this society and they have so much negative stigma, which is warranted. Some things are unnatural. Some things, like both things, really unnatural. How things are designed. Guns are created by people. Imbalance of neural or what they are feeling inside and why they like this or what maybe have trauma towards their situation. You never know. But a lot of unnatural things is why things are imbalanced. So I'm trying to be on the side of balance. I'm trying to be on the side of properness of what things supposed to actually be. And I have an opinion. I don't have an opinion on. My biggest thing is there. This guy was put up. The person who got assassinated, he was put up as a guy who helped young people vote for the person who's in charge of this country right now. And it's they put up, they brought you up. Everybody vote. Everybody got to say so if you pay taxes. So I pay my taxes. I don't work for that guy. That guy just been put in place by other people. You know what I'm saying? So he don't have no authority on my life. But this the coherentness of what's really supposed to be done. He's supposed to be trying to correct things in the world. He's supposed to be trying to bring people together, not causing division. These are all bad signs of bad leadership if you have the opposite of happening. So you're not supposed to be in that position. It's a glaring defect for this country right now. So it was a defect when it happened the first time. It's a defect right now. You know what? We came out of that. It was COVID. It was chaos and mayhem, and people not getting their way. People want to distract this person to do that thing and do that thing to do this thing, and it's the same type of finessing and very narrow-minded way of thinking. So hopefully things get situated. People. I feel like people are in a position where they could step back. Because if you have a position of power, use the power. Like, don't wake up with a fucking, excuse my language. Don't wake up with a that negative that like you ain't losing. You ain't in a position of losing. You are in a position of winning. It don't matter what people say about you. Actually, you just sitting. You a messenger, really. You a high powered messenger. So we don't lose the confusion, man. All that. I skim through the news. All I see is shooting this and 9/11. They won't. People are. I know for a fact the children do not care. They're very desensitized to what's the word, to violence. They're desensitized. It's normal. Shooting school. People still sending their children to school. I'm one of the people don't know. I don't even want my daughter to be. I could teach my daughter, but I do not want her to lose her spirit of having that togetherness, building your own team. The way America is, everybody just throwing a pot anyways. They're still trying to separate and it's something that everybody already a part of. You can't say I want segregation and desegregate. You can't say I want desegregation and then segregate. You can't be both in those type of situations. So they teaching segregated and they wanting us to be. They teaching segregation means apart, and then they got everybody together, and it's like it shows every day. It's more and more on a high level of deception and corruption. So that's all. Now moving on to the lighter things. I was gonna go through. I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna go too political. It's a lot. I know the executive order is gonna go over so many people's head. They be putting anything through. Right now, I could go through, look at it up, read it, and decipher it. I want to do it. I was just speaking on the school shooting and the mass shooting and all that. So hopefully things get cleaned up. Then we got all these. It was 3 days ago. They was talking about the amount of wars and disputes that the person in charge has started in the last few months, which I was right out in front of. He would meet with this person and that person and this person. There's no loyalty and trust have been formed against with nobody. He's done met with Russia, Ukraine, South Africa. All these people that came back to back. This is the same 1-2 step that was done in the first 4 years that he was in charge. So I'm not buying nothing. I'm not buying nothing they saying. I'm not listening to none of that rhetoric and corrupt. I'm not in tune with it. I'm not. So I'm really actually being my goals after summer and what I'm doing right now is not exactly what I want to be doing. But when I say I've kept myself free from all ties to whoever, except my family. That's how I don't mind being in this type of energy. I don't mind being in this. They playing games. They don't know how to unify and get real people who are supposed to be supposed to be in the mix. I'm gonna stop saying in charge and all that. In the mix, making things move in this world. So when they give that proper position, I know it's a look, but that's why I'm doing my podcast because I don't that look stuff. I want. I don't want that energy. Like that ain't what I'm here for you to be saying. Look, the things that y'all do for people to look bad, it's even funnier to me. They put so much energy to try to make someone look bad they make the whole group of other people look bad. The people that they ain't even paying attention to, like what that was for. The selfishness, the ego, the egotistic in them. They can't fend it off. It's in them too much. It's that that non-leadership factor that they don't have. It's in them. They ain't got it. It rears its ugly head all the time. And that's it, Sports. This is what is going on. Going down, points, numbers, math, angles, lines, new whatever going on. Football tonight. Washington versus Green Bay. NC State versus Wake Forest in North Carolina. That is a backyard game. I know they probably partying, they pre-gaming right now. If you're in college, it's lit right now. 7, 8 o'clock is going down. Then we got the WNBA playoffs starting. On regular season, I think it's in the last game yesterday. It's so many ways to, with the streaming, with the number. I like that fantasy duel and the DraftKings, the way they doing it, and also Hard Rock. It's cool because it's not really like they're not going in on the games really. You could just bet on just the flow of the game. I not even bet. I try my best not to go indulge in that. I just like it's exciting though. If you be like, dang, I guessed the right number. It's kind of like that, like a matching game. So it'd be cool. Baseball still going. Everything cool. My prediction for tonight: the keys to the game for both teams. Now Washington, they come in, got a young quarterback, nice two-headed monster. They got Debo, they got McLaren, all them guys squared off. Zach Ertz been in the league almost 10 plus years. He was actually, I'm actually a fan of Zach Ertz. So the whole offensive unit, the young defense, unknown name, still trying to put they step in the league as one of the best defenses because they only gave up 6 points the first game. I think the Washington Commanders have established themselves as what I'm saying. This Washington has a tradition of winning. It's not like they always losing. It's a lot of winning that been going on since the '80s. It was on and off because you're in a division with the Cowboys, which when it comes to propaganda news and people cheerleading with pom poms every day, they got that on Fox and ESPN for the Cowboys. They got former players, 50-year plus veterans in the what you call their lifetime Cowboy fan. They always talk about them. Then you got the Giants. They in New York. Then you got Eagles just won the Super Bowl. They on 1-2 since 2018. All that good stuff. Defense on the East on the NFC East has been that tough. Now Green Bay coming from the NFC North. It's different. The quarterback has coming into his age. He's on that. He proved it last year. Now he got to stay consistent. So let's see if he gonna build. This is a playoff type of matchup. I love these early season games. I don't see. It's a very. I'm thinking early in the season it might be some holes. I'm thinking it might be. I do the over under. It's definitely gonna be over. I believe it's gonna be over 40. You know what I'm saying? I don't think total of points. So I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I don't know who's got the advantage yet though. It's not been that many games played. If I'm going off last week, Washington has the advantage because they only gave up 6 points. Green Bay had a great game last year. I don't know if they won. I know it was a close game. I'm unsure. I can't remember. But they got a lot of talent. They got depth. Josh Jacobs is one of the most consistent running backs in the last 5 years. Not the top, but top 10. So him being in the backfield is consistency, no fumbles, 10 plus carries. The quarterbacks throw the ball 25 to 35 times. Play action. They got the offensive line and D line has been very tough since that coach has been there. That was his focal point, building the interior first. So it's gonna be an evenly matched game. Washington got so much speed and athleticism on the outside. It's all about who control the narrative of the game, who control the flow of the game, the momentum. So we're gonna see what happens. I pick Washington. I think Green Bay easily could win. Dobbs is, he was coming on. He got hurt last year. He had a big game first one. So it's all up in there. We're gonna see what they do. I'm head type of football back. Like I said, a lot of people don't have the resources, and one of the ways is like that energy of happiness, and football is back. It's a good time. Basketball will be here in a month, literally a month away. You know it's a good time. I like that's United States keep ties their sports leagues into that propaganda of war, and it's tied in very it's a very fine line. These people in the limelight every day, 24 hours a day, 365 days a week, a year. So you're always in the limelight, and the people that's fighting, supposedly fighting on the base, not people starting shit. I actually want to know how they really feeling right now. I don't think they in a good spirits. We're gonna. I think that's it. WNBA started. I don't know if it's a game. I didn't double check. Sorry, WNBA, but I will. I do promote y'all league every day. If the game today, tomorrow is coming up, I think it's a day. Sometimes it be a day between, a day or two. I know the NBA gave 2 or 3 days off before the playoffs started, so I don't know if they're starting tonight. But I know the games was last game was last night. So shout out to them before I move on. Now, sports wise, I'm gonna go right into before I move to entertainment because I think I know I'm not giving y'all details on the shooting, the assassination, and the school shooting. I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? Right now, like I said, if y'all go back to what I've been talking about when it comes to protecting your first off as a civilian, you protect your house. Boom, your mom, yours, your sisters, your grandmas, and your very tight circle of friends and cousins and brothers. You know what I'm saying? That little, it's like your mom, your sisters and stuff, your kids, your children, and then you got cousins and your homeboys. They very closely, but you always gonna stay down with your core. Make sure that's first, and then your other core is the people you grew with over time. You gotta stay on point with them. Like I feel like me speaking like this has helped a lot, and it's only been since the summer. And well, actually, last year when I was in school, I started doing my radio and my radio show at the school. But I say I know how to operate. I'm trying my best to operate so I don't go. It's such a thin line selling out. I could tell so many stories of I don't even know. I okay the deal, the saying okay to selling out, I've never done that. That is for sure. Now, me being in a position, the way they make people like me be attached to sell out and whole ass activity and degenerate ass, fucked up ass people walking around me. Excuse my language. The way they attach themselves is just being around me. I could be walking to the dang on Walgreens to get a new toothbrush, or I could be coming to the library. I could be going to the post office. These people want to walk around and act like they know me. You get what I'm saying? This is borderline harassment and next level. I need to call the police on you and get you off my back because you endangering my niece and nephew, my daughter, the people, me going into a new relationship. Anything that could happen. This stuff is out of hand. Just because I talk about it all the time. So I have to reiterate. This is the great way to reiterate. I'm not intimidated or scared. I just see things, and it could be like I said. It could be conspiracy. It could be somebody. You know what I'm saying? Making a joke, and it ain't funny. I don't know. So we got to make sure we speak on these things so they get corrected. Now, now moving forward, we talk politics, school. The big things going on. I want people to make sure that my message right now, with all that going on, politicians, people in politics, people who closely involved in changing, over there in Washington D.C., down there at the these city halls and mayor's office. I know people have not emailed me back from West Palm Beach. I'm still located down here. I did not call St. Pete, but hopefully everything working out. I'm gonna give them to. I'm probably gonna call before January, but y'all St. Pete. I mean Pinellas County. That's Clearwater, Largo, St. Pete, the whole county that I was born in. I really care. I hope I graduated there. I graduated preschool there. I'm just making sure across the board I'm still in this state. That's not where I'm located though. But I have a lot of family. I have a lot of ties there. I want to make sure that's straight. Now I got people here on the other coast. It's the same thing. I want the same. So my mind is big, but I gotta narrow my detail. I gotta narrow what I gotta focus on every day. This is like any other person. You know what I'm saying? Everything pretty straight, but they like to throw monkey wrenches. There's so many. I'm looking at the school boards right now from Pinellas, Broward. I have a lot of ties in Pasco, Pope, whatever these little areas. I have a lot of family. So, and I'm not being funny. If I'm talking about the school board, I'm not being funny about no made up stories. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about real life children. The next step people up in my section over here. My thing I had an issue with before the summer started was, who are these people that we don't know who trying to invest into these schools and these school boards, and they keep everything on the hush hush and not enough parents involved. This is my issue in the beginning of the year. These people have avoided me in Broward. These people, the people in Palm Beach have destroyed my name, far as they slandered my name throughout the county. They did all kind of backhanded things in Palm Beach County now. Broward did pretty much say I didn't work with nobody, work for nobody in Broward. He said it was coaching. It's expected. People are jealous. People are envious. That's cool. I can handle the football side. Now you go to the school board where I gotta the way that it's set up. This is my livelihood. This is the path I chose. You cannot do that to my. I feel I'm still fighting that negative stench of that white supremacist hate from this school board that I worked for since I was 18. So I gotta keep correcting. I gotta make sure everything my niece and nephew are targets, because of these people. They work for the school, but they also won't think they're like real like gang members, like white, black, Spanish. All these people really think they in some kind of they could group up against my family. So, and it's because we stay here, but we're in the same state. We've been in the same state our whole life. I'm lost in that. So, everything mindful. When you start something, this is how I look at it, and this is for me. This works for me 99% of the time. When you start something in a negative light, and the person comes with light, you are not going to beat that person with light. So that's the thing that they got to understand. You can attack. You can attack. I ain't, what I'm saying, I ain't put my hands on nobody's children, but these conversations happen in my household. So I hope, and I'm not trying to start now. I just want the things be mindful, man. Nobody, I ain't come from. I come from you just competing. You feel me? In a good, clean competition. Nobody got to be extra about it. So that's the main thing. I be wanting. I be having to reiterate. I'm moving on. Hopefully y'all correct it. Hopefully y'all got the right people in place. Hopefully y'all not delusional about what the truth is. You feel me? So that's the main thing. Now, hmm. Now, okay, we talked about the game tonight. We talked about the WNBA. Baseball still on. It's getting out to the end. You know what I'm saying? It's going to winter. Winter is playoffs for that. So we done with sports for today. Now tomorrow I might go in a little bit depth about college football, K games, Saturday, talk a little bit more in depth. But I ain't, I'm just trying to keep people, I give y'all who I think is gonna win. I think Washington's gonna win. Green Bay got a strong chance. That's pretty much it. Now, other entertainment. Now, I've been having fun with this. Now, I always mentally I get like that I be like theme music. So when I walk in a building, this is the song that I'm listening to. So I'm like, who's the rapper? Who's the hip hop artist that won the song with this shit? I'm from Florida. I'm biased. Sorry for other rappers. I listen to a lot. I listen to Michigan. Got some stuff going right now. I like what Michigan did. They've been hot for the last 10 years as well in the music game. Then you got Memphis. Then still got Georgia. Very hot. Been hot for a long time, since 2000s, early late 90s. Been hot for a little minute. Now Florida, we've been hot about the same time now. Y'all do the math. Y'all do our big artists at the time in the late '90s when everybody in the South was really elevated to I'm gonna say it like this: they elevated to superstardom, and really the superstardom for rappers were late '90s. That's when that superstardom, that $100 million man, that $100 million rapper was in the late '90s. They started. Not saying it wasn't before, because the money flow in the '80s and '90s. These people could have been walking around with millions of dollars just from their homeboy doing their thing, and they, what I'm saying, how the game was. That's why we survived. That's why hip hop survived, because the game they was speaking on, the people was, it was hand in hand. They was working hand in hand. They was telling their own boy story. Their own boy was telling their story. They was living it. So they tell their own story. So I ain't gotta sit up and act like I know them. I don't know. No, this is based off strictly what y'all been getting off YouTube. Y'all been getting off the doc series. They got a whole. It's global. I'm never. No, nothing's bigger than hip hop. Nothing's bigger than the culture of hip hop, rap, R&B, blues. All that's us. That's the art we gonna put out and drop. They have not. I don't give a. I don't. I'm not dissing the writer of the Rolling Stones writer Hall of Fame thing that they got. Is rock and roll, is all kind of music in there. But y'all know what kind of bias that is. We got some people in there not mad at all. But overall, y'all know what happened when we got it in the '90s, in the late '90s. We ain't gave it back. And then we got the R&B mixed with rap, so you know what that means. Like we been, and then shout out to all the people from Florida, man. Like I just remember, my generation has a ton of rappers that got pretty big. Then they got people that's in my age that's still pretty nice. You feel me? Like they ain't even making as big as some of these other people. As far as name wise, not money, not in the actual state or city. You representing. You know what I'm saying? Got a little press from other places. Not saying you ain't get the press, because the way the game is, you actually got to know people to really tap into your finances. You could be making some of the best music and not know how to tap into finances. Cool. Y'all remember, I'm not saying I'm promoting this person. Y'all remember when they did the NFT stuff and everybody was doing, it's not new. This is how they changed the CD. Not saying a physical CD, because if I was somebody, I'm jumping. But when that person made that, not saying he was the only one, because I think it was other people that's from the '90s did it. All kind of people done did his NFT stuff. They're not promoting it. I'm pretty sure it's still around. The whole vinyl, the whole, the one I liked it was when Kanye sold that box, and I feel like that's the new age of CDs. When he sold that box, or when David Banner did it as well. They presented that, what do they call it, the vinyl or whatever. They presented it. The presentation is what matter when you get that big, because soon as they drop, a million people already listen to their songs. It don't matter what they say, what they done put in these computers, and y'all sitting up here not understanding why these people not stunned. Because the people that done put everything in the computer or this and that, they already ate. The people from the '90s just not recouping for what they, some people they not everybody wasn't doing what Biggie and Tupac was did or DMX and 50 Cent, and these people sold 4 albums and made everyone go platinum, and you know what I'm saying? They ain't do that. So everybody wasn't able to do all that kind of numbers. Like I said, DMX did like 2 or 3. They were dropping platinum albums. And then you had, Nas, he was year, every 18 months type thing in the '90s, all that good stuff. The music don't get promoted. The radio's watered down. Everybody on podcast, which you see how it go. We still railroad them with that. But I feel like my biggest thing, I ain't gonna say it because I want to actually come fruition. Basically, what I'm trying to say, I think if I had to rate who's in the league for rap, like I said, Lil Tyler won the summer this summer. To me, there's so many rappers out there. For me, Lil Tyler won with his album. I still want to listen to. I still want to hear both of his albums that he put out over the last 2 years. When it comes to hip hop, it's so hard to promote music, man. It's difficult. It's a different time, man. It's a different time. I don't know how to. I don't know how to explain it. R&B is a little different, and people try to. when you try to whitewash something that's not even close to ever being whitewashed, you know what I'm trying to say? You can't whitewash the soul and spirit of a chant, of a group, of that energy of living that time, that what the what Drake done future, what a time to be alive and all that type of that mindset really. So like I said, it's about 10 years that will drop. So it just like that's how it is. That's how it gotta be when you making that music. You gotta have that people remember people remember your song and remember what they doing. You gotta have that type of music. You feel me? So like I said, I like that new energy. We been putting them out. We got a lot of underground rappers in Florida. I want to see people trying to compete in this sport of hip hop again. So I'm talking about it today. And like I said, it's great that you got people friends with the famous basketball and football players, and a lot of cameos, a lot of people doing both, all that good stuff. I'm hyped about that type of energy, and it's only getting better, younger. The crazy thing is the NBA has changed faces. Like it's a new age in the NBA. You feel me? Jason Tatum just got hurt. He finna hit 30. Got married. You know how they do the whole ceremony. LeBron finna be out the league in 3-4 years maybe if he stayed till when what you call it, retire, or a year after, or when his son do his first three, both of them, 3-4 years, whatever how they got it. Cause and then you got KD still trying to win a ship. But then you got Steph, Draymond still on the same team. Now after that, Shea Gilgeous been around, but he just got his press. Everything else, you got Ant Edwards, you got Wimby, y'all, you got it's a new league. Still got James Harden and boys in the league. I like that. James Harden, Russ Westbrook. It's a good big. It's a good bag. You feel me? All these kids got superstar parents. It's when they be a new age in the league. You feel me? In the college basketball gonna be different this year. I feel so. It's gonna be real. It's gonna be lit. I like that energy in basketball. So we hype. You feel me? And we like I said, we gonna be consistent. Now now talk about before I leave entertainment. I talked about the music. Um, the thing. Okay, I'm getting on this. Okay, Denzel got a movie. I forgot what it's like. It's a very simple name of the movie, but it was kind of cool how when they titled it. He got a new movie. Now I want to make sure I give because I'm when it comes to music, hip hop and rap, and I like the old school R&B. The new R&B hit or miss. Sometimes y'all be so hot, and then y'all go fall off completely. You feel me? So it ain't no. I'm trying to see why y'all inconsistent, and I know it's because it's the money thing, but you know what I'm saying. It ain't. If you realize when you get in the game, you just gotta be a salesman. Before I lead it, before I go to the Dizel, giving out why this person one of my favorite actual, it's an event every time you put out something. So but before I move on for rap, I seen the on Instagram that Cardi B had done did the she was selling her. That's why I was talking about them hustlings and I'm not being funny. I'm not. Y'all gotta remember where this person started from. And I know she's being so sarcastic with it. Cause this one of the people that many people gonna listen to her any single she put. Many people gonna listen and add and download that song. So that's $1 million that she should automatically get for that one song. That's the craziest thing to me. It's on auto pay. The subscription. Okay, say I got Apple Music, whatever company you with. Like she was saying, the if I was me, I would tell these the people that could do this. And I just to compete on a level of artist and being famous already. And I know it's a look. I'm looking from my view, so she could have 1,000 other things, 1,000 other deals. The reason why she can't, but I like that energy of promoting it this way because this is what it was. This is what it is. So she promoting that her out pre-sale album. She did it before it came out officially. I would tell these people I'll get a garage. I ain't being funny. I'll get a garage. Say my 1,000,000 copies. I'm gonna sell them myself. I'm talking about one by one. If you want 5 copies, I want you to 5 times pay for it. Not 1 6. Cause I remember I seen y'all remember that when that what it was 09, 2010, 2011 when Cole dropped and he was going to Target buying all his albums and giving them away because he was already sold 1 million. It were already you feel me? First day, first drop, 250 hard copies of a CD. So I'm glad that energy's back of competition, of wanting to win, of wanting people to be in tune with you. So that was a nice look. I seen that. I see people gearing up with the fashion. I could speak on it because I'm a def. I ain't. Let me put it like this. I'm highly interested into fashion, but I have not dwelled in that realm, that fashion world. I have not gotten into it at all. So when I tap in creativity wise and apparel wise and really get like it's gonna be better than so many of y'all, and I don't have to rush that. I know I got my abilities and gifts from that. That this is naturally passed down style swag. I've been trying to look, man. I promise you, man. I stopped playing the video game. I stopped, man. I got so when they try to read who you is, I swear I switched up so fast on them. Like when it comes to these people monitoring who you is or how you develop, they can say what they want. They don't know nothing because they haven't really gotten that chance to know who I really am. They just watching it, just trying to make up something and create a atmosphere. This is what they trying to combine they negative with my positive, and it ain't and mine's gonna always stump on it completely. So that's all. But that's it for today, man. It's been a great show. You know, I came here, very positive. I like what's going to happen with this setup. I was telling y'all last time it's going to be big. This is one of this. Being in a booth is one of the greatest things, man. I already knew I could jump into this era. I just got to be here. Like it's consistency. Everything good. I don't have to. I already know what I did this summer, so it's gonna only stack up. Keep going in. Keep going hard. So that's pretty much it. Shout out to everybody. Love y'all family. Love my daughter. Love my mom. My grandmas. Auntie. Everybody. Get in touch. Get in tune. How about that? But all right, shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate y'all. This is Dynasty Podcast Show. I'm your host, Ira Bush, and I will talk to y'all later.